Yes, we got you.
Okay. Thanks. Dr. Yellen, thank you for your willingness to serve the American people again. We're grateful for that. I wanted to focus my questions, maybe two broad questions, mostly on children, but they'll touch on other issues as well. First of all, the role of both child care and early childhood education, so-called early care and learning, the importance of that to the economy, and in particular to the labor force participation by women, which we know is a major challenge we have. The pandemic has exposed the importance of caregiving on our economy, those who care for and support children, who support and care for seniors and people with disabilities. We're seeing more clearly now, probably than ever, the importance of quality, affordable care for those Americans and the connection between that care and our economy. In President-elect Biden's American Rescue Plan, he included a provision very close to my bill, the Child Independent Care Tax Credit, the expansion of that. And so I just wanted to ask you about both the question of child care and the care economy as an economic imperative to the country. If you could discuss both your ability to elevate this issue, both as it relates to COVID-19, as well as the importance in terms of the short and long-term competitiveness of our economy.
Well, thank you for that question, Senator. I feel this is a really critical area, both because of the pandemic and longer term. The availability of childcare and paid leave greatly affects the ability of women to participate in the labor force. And once upon a time, we had one of the highest labor force participation rates for women of any developed country, and that has really changed, and we no longer are anywhere near the top. And where we stand out is that the United States does much less on the front of childcare and paid leave than most other developed economies. And I agree, for the competitiveness of our economy and wanting women to be able to participate, it's really critical to address those shortages. And it's been more than evident in the pandemic. It's women who have suffered a disproportionate loss in jobs, who have a disproportionate burden of caring for children who are out of school, and for relatives who are ill and need help. And it's really impacted them mightily, and because of a lack of these supports.
Well, I appreciate that, because it's I think very much apparent now, because of the pandemic, about how important those programs are and those strategies are for caregiving. My last question before my time runs out, Dr. Yellen, is about kid savings accounts. This has been an idea that's been around, proposed over the last 20 years. I've worked with Senator Wyden on the Young American Savers Act. It's a measure that I proposed, a similar measure, in the debate on the 2017 tax bill. The Democrats all voted for it. I think it's time finally to enact kid savings accounts to support equity building for our nation's kids, so we can also at the same time support emergency savings for their parents. Could you discuss briefly, and I know we only have less than a minute left, the role of asset building in securing the middle class?
Well, just very briefly, Senator, I certainly agree that assets are utterly essential for people in dealing with an emergency. It's shocking that such a large fraction of Americans wouldn't have $400 to deal with an emergency. And it's necessary for home ownership, for business formation, for saving. And We have huge wealth disparities, even greater than income disparities, and the racial wealth gap has also worsened over time. So looking for strategies to address that gap and promote asset building, I think should be very much the forefront of policy.
Well, Dr. Yellen, thanks so much. Good luck in your confirmation. I'll have some other questions for the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Gay.